This morning I created a video for FL Studio that you can also see on my channel, and this video covered how you would route Kontakt 5 instruments to an individual track in an individual mixer track rather in FL Studio. This is for the application where you may have a single instance of Kontakt, but you have multiple instruments, whether you're using a piano or organ, keys, whatever. But you want more control. You want more control over the panning, more control over the volume, the pitch, whatever it may be. You just want more control, but without having multiple instances of Kontakt. So I'm going to show you how you can layer multiple instruments within Kontakt 5, but have individual control of each one. And I'm also going to show you how you can create separate MIDI inputs or separate piano roll notes for each of the instruments, while still only using one instance of Kontakt. Cool, so enough of the introduction. Most importantly, you need to add a instance of Kontakt 5, obviously, to Bitwig. An important thing to note is that you want to add the 16 out or the 8 out version of the Kontakt 5 VST. So I've got the 18 out one inserted here. After Kontakt 5 is loaded, you just want to open the event window here, click this, and essentially what this will do is this will allow the use of the multiple outputs. So we're just going to hit add missing chains here. Now what you'll notice is in the mix window, there never used to be this drop down. So you click this drop down and you have individual routing that's controlled within inside Kontakt 5, which we'll get to in a second. Okay, so if we go back to the arrange window, Kontakt 5, cool. Okay, so let's add some new channels, some new stereo tracks. We'll just add 3 for demonstration purposes. And then what you want to do is, you'll notice that stereo track 1 has has one stereo output, 2 mono tracks. We need to assign each of the new stereo tracks that we've created an output. So let's just do this very quickly. Don't worry about that. Cool. Just a side note, if you do happen to use Kontakt 5 quite a lot and you plan on layering instruments, the quickest thing to replicate this would be to save a preset. In this drop down here, you'll notice I already saved the preset from my earlier tutorial. But what you can do is you can save this layout so that if I open a new copy of Kontakt 5 and then select the mixer track preset, you'll notice that this is all set up for me. So you only actually have to do this once, which means hopefully you only have to watch this video once and then you'll understand it straight away. Okay, let me just delete that quickly. Right. Cool, okay, let's add some instrumentation. I'm just going to randomly add 3 different instruments. Let's add some keys here. And why don't we throw in a nice jazz organ. Okay, so next thing to do will be to route each of the instruments that we've just added to Kontakt to their own internal stereo track within Kontakt itself. So you notice that the piano is assigned to stereo 1, as is the Scarby, so we want to change that to stereo 2, and then for the jazz organ, stereo 3. So what that should mean is, if I just open the mix window here, bring that open, when I play each of those 3 instruments, they should play on individual stereo tracks within Kontakt. And this one as well. Cool, okay, nice. That's the arrange window. Let's add a clip. So just for demonstration purposes, don't shoot me for this. Let's just do that. We just want to loop that up. Okay, so you'll notice that even though I've routed all of the tracks internally, you're still only hearing the piano. So there's 2 different ways we can look at this. So first of all, if you want this clip to play all 3 instrumentation at the same time, we need to go into Kontakt, go back into Kontakt, and then we want to change the MIDI channel to be the same as the piano, which in this case it's 1. So if we change this to 1 as well, you'll notice you can now hear the scarby, and the same goes for the organ. But the problem is now that you don't really have any control. If I wanted to, for example, add, I don't know, maybe a bass note to the piano, if I wanted to create some chords off the back of this melody, this albeit very terrible melody, you've got no control because everything is within one clip. So this is where you can route each of the instruments to their own tracks within Bitwig Studio. So we're just going to cover that now. So let's add 2 more instrument tracks. Let's rename this one to piano, this one to scarby, I can spell it, and the last one to organ. Now, for the purposes of the next step, let's just change this to MIDI 2 and this to MIDI 3. Cool, and now we're back to just the piano. However, if we duplicate the clips and just make a slight amendment to each one so you can hear the instruments underneath, let's just get rid of that. Let's just move that over. Okay, that'll do. Oh. Let's just add an extra note, say here, just so that you can hear it. Still nothing. So the last step is we want to go to the mix window, and then under, let's just collapse this, under the new instrument tracks that we've created, we want to change the master output to this, Kontakt 5, change the MIDI input to 2, and then the same here, but to 3, like that. And now if we play back our tracks, they're now all playing individually. So this gives you great control, not only for improvising on notes. If you do want to layer them, you can, as I mentioned before, add bass notes, change it very slightly depending on the instruments. You've also got the flexibility in the mix window to change the levels, the panning, add any effects, and so on within Kontakt itself. So I could send that to a reverb, for example. Pan that left, well, right even, pan that left. I could mute that. You know, you get the idea. So yeah, that is the end of that. So I hope this helped. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and please check back for future videos on my channel where I'll be covering more tutorials on Bitwig, FL Studio, popular presets, dropping my own music, all the good stuff. Make sure you check back again soon. Peace.